If you are over 60, there is one everyday vegetable that doctors rarely mention. Yet this vegetable raises stroke risk in ways most seniors never hear about. And the surprising part is this: almost every American household keeps it on the counter, believing it is harmless. I know that can stir fear, but you deserve clarity. You deserve real senior health tips that respect the years you have lived and the wisdom you carry. My name is Dr. James. I am a brain doctor who has spent more than 2 decades sitting beside seniors, hearing their worries, hearing their victories, and helping them make sense of confusing health advice. I have seen how one small food choice can change a night. I have held the hands of older adults who said, "I had no idea a vegetable could do this to me." Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever wondered whether a simple vegetable raises stroke risk when your blood vessels are older, stiffer, and more sensitive than they were at 40? Type 1, if you have. Type 0, if this is completely new. Your comment helps other seniors watching this right now feel less alone. Your body at 60, 70, or 80 is still fighting for you, but it reacts differently. Your hydration shifts, your medications interact, and sometimes what was healthy at 40 behaves differently at 70. That is why these senior health tips matter more than ever. And stay with me, because the vegetable at number 1 is something many seniors eat at night, thinking it protects their heart. The truth will surprise you, and it may even change what you put on your plate tonight. Let us begin. Most seniors in America grew up hearing that spinach is one of the best foods for staying strong, and that can still be true. But what many older adults never hear is that spinach can behave differently in an aging body. Not because it is a bad food, but because your blood vessels at 60, 70, or 80 respond in ways they simply did not when you were younger. And this is one of the reasons certain vegetables can quietly raise stroke risk without anyone warning you. Let me share a story that has stayed with me for years. His name was Mr. Howard, a gentle 76-year-old man who took pride in growing vegetables behind his small white house. Every evening, he made himself a fresh bowl of raw spinach, believing it was the reason he still felt healthy. He used to laugh and say, "If it is good enough for Popeye, it is good enough for me." But after a few months, he began waking up lightheaded, foggy, and weak on one side. Not a stroke, thank goodness, but a sign his body was struggling. Here is the part most seniors have never been told. Spinach is high in oxalates. Think of oxalates like tiny grains of mineral dust that can bind with calcium and form crystals. When you were 40, your kidneys flushed these out easily. But with age, your hydration changes. Your kidneys slow down, your vessels stiffen. These tiny crystals can thicken the blood just enough to increase pressure in small vessels of the brain. And when that happens at night, it becomes one of the ways a vegetable raises stroke risk without you ever realizing it. This is not about fear. This is about understanding your body with honesty. Spinach is not the enemy. The timing matters. Seniors do better eating spinach cooked, paired with water, or eaten at lunch instead of right before bedtime. These small senior health tips give your brain a fair chance to stay steady. I want to ask you something. Have you ever felt morning dizziness after a late dinner or salad? If so, tell me in the comments. Your story might help another senior watching this right now. Stay with me, because the vegetable at number 8 interacts with common medications in a way that surprises even doctors. Many older adults are surprised when I tell them this, because broccoli has been praised for decades as one of the healthiest vegetables you can put on your plate. And it truly can be. But for seniors, broccoli carries a hidden twist that most people never learn about until it starts affecting them. It is not the broccoli itself that raises stroke risk. It is the way it interacts with age, blood vessels, and especially medications that millions of Americans over 60 take every single day. I think of Mrs. Martha, an 82-year-old retired teacher who used to steam a big bowl of broccoli every night for dinner. She believed she was doing everything right. She walked every morning, kept her blood pressure under control, and always chose vegetables over sweets. But her blood tests kept coming back off balance. Her doctor noticed that her medication levels were swinging, sometimes too weak, sometimes too strong, and she would often say, "I do not understand. I am doing everything they told me to do." Here's the part most seniors never hear. Broccoli is rich in vitamin K, a nutrient that helps your blood clot. That is usually a good thing. But if you are taking blood thinners, even a healthy vegetable raises stroke risk when it changes how your medication works. Imagine your medication as a seatbelt. Vitamin K does not break the seatbelt. It just loosens it or tightens it without warning. One night, your blood might be too thin, raising the risk of bleeding. The next night, it might be too thick, raising the risk of a clot. And most seniors never feel it happening. This is not about blaming broccoli. This is about giving your brain a fair chance. Seniors who eat broccoli in consistent amounts, not huge bowls one night and none the next, tend to do much better. Eating it at lunch instead of dinner, steaming it lightly, and keeping your daily amount steady protects your body far more than avoiding it completely. Let me ask you something. If you take blood thinners, has your doctor ever explained how vegetables can affect them? Share your experience in the comments. Your voice may help another senior understand their own body. Stay with me, because the vegetable at number 7 seems harmless, but can quietly dehydrate you while you sleep. Romaine lettuce is one of those foods that feels innocent, light, fresh, safe. Many seniors choose it because it feels like the right thing to do, especially at dinner. And then, a big bowl of romaine with a little chicken and dressing seems like the perfect healthy evening meal. But what most older adults never hear is that romaine can quietly work against your body at night, especially when your blood vessels and hydration levels have changed with age. And this is one of the surprising ways a simple vegetable raises stroke risk in seniors without anyone realizing it. I always think about Mr. John, a 74-year-old Vietnam veteran who took pride in taking care of himself. Every night after watching the evening news, he made the same meal. A large romaine salad with a few tomatoes and a glass of iced tea. He told me it made him feel clean before bedtime. But over the years, he began waking up with dry mouth, headaches, and a tight feeling in his chest. His blood pressure would spike in the early morning, and he could not understand why. He kept saying, "I am eating healthy. How can this be happening?" Here is what many seniors do not know. Romaine lettuce has a natural diuretic effect. It pulls water from the body. When you were younger, that did not matter. But after 60, your kidneys slow down, your blood gets thicker more easily, and your vessels stiffen like old garden hoses baked in the sun. Eating a large bowl of romaine at night can leave you slightly dehydrated while you sleep. And when your blood becomes thicker, even a little, the pressure inside the vessels feeding the brain rises. That is how a harmless vegetable raises stroke risk without feeling dangerous at all. This is not about stopping romaine. It is about understanding timing. Seniors do much better eating romaine at lunch instead of dinner. Drinking a glass of water before and after your salad makes a huge difference. And rotating leafy greens protects your body far more than sticking to one type every night. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt morning headaches or tightness after a light salad dinner? If you have, share it in the comments. Your voice can help another senior understand they are not alone. Stay with me, because the vegetable at number 6 affects your nighttime blood sugar in a way most seniors never hear about. Raw carrots feel harmless, bright, crunchy, comforting. Many seniors reach for them as a late-night snack because they seem like the safest choice you can make. And most of the time, they are. But what older adults rarely hear is that raw carrots can behave differently in the evening, especially when blood sugar and stress hormones do not regulate the way they used to. And this is another surprising way a simple vegetable can quietly raise stroke risk without sounding dangerous at all. I think of Mrs. Helen, a 79-year-old grandmother who kept a cheerful bowl of baby carrots on her kitchen counter. Every night, while watching her favorite mystery shows, she would grab a handful. It kept her from eating cookies, she said with a proud smile. But she started waking up shaky, drained, and anxious. Some mornings, her heart would pound hard enough that she had to sit at the edge of the bed and breathe slowly. She kept telling me, I thought carrots were supposed to help me, not make me feel worse. Here is what most seniors have never been told. Raw carrots contain natural sugars that enter the bloodstream gently during the day, but much faster at night when your metabolism slows. That fast rise is followed by a sharp drop. And when your blood sugar dips in the middle of the night, your body releases stress hormones to compensate. It is like your body flips on an internal alarm. Your heart rate climbs. Your blood pressure surges. Your vessels tighten just enough to strain the small arteries feeding the brain. That nighttime roller coaster is one of the reasons certain vegetables raise stroke risk in older adults without you ever seeing it coming. But here is the good news. Carrots are not the problem. Timing is the key. Seniors do much better eating carrots at lunch, pairing them with protein, or choosing cooked carrots at dinner instead of raw. These small senior health tips protect your brain more than you realize. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt shaky or wired after a late-night snack, even a healthy one? If so, tell me in the comments. You might help another senior understand something they have been confused about for years. Stay with me, because the vegetable at number 5 looks perfectly healthy, but can thin your blood more than you expect. Garlic is one of those foods almost every American kitchen has. It feels natural, comforting, even healing. Many seniors use it because they heard it is good for the heart, and in the right amount, it can be. But what most older adults never hear is that garlic has a powerful effect on the blood. And with age, medications, and changes in circulation, that effect can become stronger than you expect. This is one of the quiet ways a vegetable, or in this case a seasoning, can raise stroke risk without you even noticing. I will never forget Mr. Robert, an 80-year-old retired truck driver who loved cooking for himself. He used fresh garlic in almost every meal because he believed it kept him healthy on the road. After he retired, he added garlic supplements because a neighbor told him they were good for cholesterol. For months, he felt slightly bruised, tired, and dizzy. One day, he came in with a small nosebleed that would not stop. He kept saying, "I thought garlic was supposed to help me, not make things worse." Here is the part most seniors never hear. Garlic contains a natural compound that thins the blood. That can be helpful in moderation, but if you take blood thinners or medications that affect clotting, garlic can make your blood too thin. Imagine your blood as a river. Medications keep it flowing steadily, but too much garlic, especially supplements, can turn that steady flow into something light and unstable. And when the blood becomes too thin, the vessels in the brain become vulnerable. A tiny injury, a small rise in blood pressure, or even a nightly pressure change can increase the risk of a bleeding event. This is how even a healthy ingredient can quietly raise stroke risk in older adults without anyone connecting the dots. But here is the good news. Garlic in cooking is usually gentle enough for most seniors. The real issue is garlic supplements or adding large amounts every day. Seniors do better using garlic in normal food portions, avoiding supplements unless a doctor approves, and keeping their meals consistent. These simple senior health tips protect your brain far more than eliminating garlic completely. I want to ask you something. Have you ever tried garlic supplements because someone recommended them? Tell me in the comments. Your story may help another senior make a safer choice. Stay with me, because the vegetable at number 4 looks harmless, but can lower your blood pressure faster than you expect. Onions feel like one of the safest ingredients in the kitchen. They are in soups, salads, sandwiches, casseroles, and almost every classic American family recipe. They seem simple, harmless, comforting even. But what many seniors never hear is that onions can affect blood pressure in a way that catches older adults off guard. And when your blood vessels are aging, even small pressure swings can matter more than they used to. This is another surprising way. A common vegetable can quietly raise stroke risk without meaning to. I often think of Mrs. Linda, an 83-year-old widow who loved making onion sandwiches the way her mother used to. 2 slices of soft white bread, a little butter, thin onion slices, and a sprinkle of pepper. It reminded her of home. She ate one almost every evening while watching her game shows. But over time, she started feeling dizzy when she stood up. She felt her heart skip sometimes. One morning, she almost fainted in her kitchen. She held the counter and whispered, "I just stood up too fast." She had no idea her nightly onions might be playing a role. Here is what most seniors do not realize. Onions contain a compound that helps relax blood vessels. That can be a good thing during the day, especially after a salty meal. But eating a lot of raw onions at night can cause your blood pressure to dip more suddenly than your body can adjust to. Imagine your blood pressure like a porch light dimmer switch. When you were younger, you adjusted quickly, but after 60, it moves more slowly. A fast drop can leave you lightheaded, confused, or weak. And that sudden dip, followed by a rebound rise, creates the kind of pressure swing that can strain fragile vessels in the brain. But here is the hopeful part. Onions themselves are not the enemy. Cooking them softens their impact. Eating them earlier in the day helps your body handle them more gently. And rotating your vegetables instead of relying on the same ones every night gives your brain more stability. These small senior health tips can protect you far more than avoiding onions entirely. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt dizzy or off balance after standing up, especially in the morning? If it has happened to you, share it in the comments. Your experience might help another senior make sense of something they have been ignoring. Stay with me, because the vegetable at number 3 raises your blood sugar faster than most seniors expect, even faster than some desserts. Corn is one of the most familiar foods in America. It is on dinner tables, at barbecues, picnics, 4th of July cookouts, and Sunday family meals. It feels warm, nostalgic, comforting. Many seniors grew up eating corn on the cob straight from the garden or enjoying popcorn during their favorite evening shows. And most of the time, it feels harmless. But what many older adults never hear is that corn can raise blood sugar faster than they expect, especially at night. And when blood sugar rises and crashes, it can create one of the hidden ways a vegetable raises stroke risk for seniors. I think of Mr. Peter, a 70-year-old retired mail carrier who loved ending his evenings with a big bowl of popcorn. It was his treat after a long day, something he believed was better than cookies or chips. He would settle into his recliner, turn on an old Western, and let the night wind down. But over time, he began waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning with his heart racing, his hands trembling, and a strange feeling of panic. He kept saying, "I thought popcorn was the safest snack I could choose." Here is what many seniors never learn. Corn is a starchy vegetable. Your body breaks it down quickly, almost like a sweet snack. When you eat it late at night, your blood sugar rises fast, then crashes while you sleep. That sudden drop triggers stress hormones. It is your body's way of trying to protect you, like sounding an internal alarm. But those hormones raise your heart rate, tighten your vessels, and push your blood pressure up. And that combination, especially in people over 60, can strain the delicate arteries that feed the brain. This is how even a familiar, comforting vegetable can quietly raise stroke risk without you realizing it. But here is the hopeful part. You do not have to give up corn. You just have to use timing and balance. Seniors do much better eating corn earlier in the day, pairing it with protein or healthy fats, or choosing a smaller portion. These simple senior health tips protect your brain while still letting you enjoy the foods you love. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt shaky or uneasy after eating popcorn at night? If this has happened to you, share it in the comments. Your story might help another senior understand something their body has been trying to tell them. Stay with me, because the vegetable at number 2 looks elegant and healthy, but can quietly dehydrate you more than you realize. Asparagus looks elegant on the plate. It feels like one of those vegetables that doctors praise and restaurants serve proudly. Many seniors choose it because it feels clean, light, and heart-healthy. And most of the time, it is. But what many older adults never hear is that asparagus has a natural diuretic effect. And when you are over 60, even a small shift in hydration can change how your blood flows at night. This is another surprising way a healthy-looking vegetable can quietly raise stroke risk without anyone realizing the connection. I often think about Mrs. Grace, an 84-year-old former nurse who loved making baked asparagus with olive oil and pepper. She would plate it carefully beside her chicken breast and call it her perfect dinner. She took pride in eating well. But she started waking up at dawn with pounding headaches, dry lips, and a heavy feeling in her legs. Some mornings, she felt so tired she stayed in bed longer than usual, wondering why her healthy habits weren't helping. She once told me, "I thought I was doing everything right." Here is what most seniors never hear. Asparagus makes the kidneys pull more water out of the body. During the day, that is usually helpful. But when you eat asparagus at dinner, your body may continue losing fluid while you sleep, and after 60, your blood thickens faster when you are dehydrated. When the blood becomes thicker, it moves more slowly. Pressure rises in the small vessels feeding the brain, and that shift, even if it is mild, can strain arteries that are already delicate. This is one of the ways a simple vegetable raises stroke risk in seniors without feeling dangerous at all. But here is the hopeful part. You do not have to stop eating asparagus. You just have to adjust the timing and hydration. Seniors do much better eating asparagus at lunch instead of dinner, drinking a glass of water before and after the meal, or alternating it with gentler vegetables. These small senior health tips help your brain stay steady and protected. Let me ask you something. Have you ever woken up with a morning headache or dry mouth after what you believed was a healthy dinner? If this sounds familiar, share it in the comments. Your story might help another senior feel understood. Stay with me, because the #1 vegetable is something almost every senior eats with confidence, believing it protects the heart, when in reality, it can raise stroke risk in a way most people never see coming. Tomatoes are one of the most loved vegetables in America, even though they are technically a fruit. They sit on kitchen counters, fill summer gardens, and show up in salads, soups, sauces, and sandwiches. For many seniors, tomatoes feel like the heart-healthy choice, the safe choice, the food you reach for when you want something light and wholesome. And that is why this surprises so many people. Tomatoes can quietly raise stroke risk in older adults, especially when eaten at night, because of how they interact with aging blood vessels, acidity, and natural compounds most seniors have never been told about. I always remember Mr. Walter, a 78-year-old retired carpenter who ate tomatoes the way some people eat apples. Fresh slices with dinner. Cherry tomatoes while watching baseball. A few spoonfuls of tomato sauce before bed because he liked the taste. He was convinced tomatoes were keeping his heart strong. But he started waking up with a pounding heartbeat, tightness behind his eyes, and a strange buzzing in his head. He would sit at the edge of the bed and say, "I do not know why this keeps happening. I am eating healthy." Here is what most seniors never hear. Tomatoes contain natural acids, histamines, and a compound called solanine. During the day, your body handles these easily, but at night, especially after 60, your vessels are more sensitive. The acidity can shift electrolytes, the histamines can tighten vessels, and solanine, in some people, triggers inflammation. Imagine your blood vessels as small garden hoses that have aged over time. A little pressure, a little tightening, a little swelling, and suddenly the brain is working harder than it should. This is one of the ways even a beloved vegetable raises stroke risk without anyone noticing the pattern. But there is real hope here. Tomatoes are not the enemy. Timing and preparation make all the difference. Seniors do better eating tomatoes earlier in the day, cooking them instead of eating them raw at night, pairing them with healthy fats, and drinking water with their meal. These simple senior health tips protect your brain while still allowing you to enjoy the foods you love. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt pressure behind your eyes or a racing heartbeat after a tomato-heavy dinner? If this sounds familiar, share it in the comments. Your story might help another senior understand something they have wondered about for years. Stay with me, because the final section of this video will bring everything together and show you how your choices can protect your brain, starting tonight. You have just taken a journey through 9 vegetables that almost every American senior eats without ever realizing how differently the body responds after 60. And if you are still here with me, I want to say something clearly. You did something good for yourself today. You took the time to understand your body with honesty, with courage, and with hope. Most people rush through life without slowing down to learn what their health is trying to tell them. But you did. And that matters more than you know. Your body is not your enemy. It is still fighting for you. Even now, even after all the years, the stress, the medications, the long nights, the early mornings, your brain wants to stay sharp. Your heart wants to stay steady. Your blood vessels want to protect you. They just need the right conditions, the right timing, and the right care. And that is why these senior health tips matter so much. They are not about restriction, they are about freedom. The freedom that comes from understanding how your body truly works. I want you to remember something. Every choice you make is a vote for healing. Drinking a glass of water before dinner, eating your heavier vegetables at lunch instead of late at night, paying attention to the way your body reacts. These are not small things. They are powerful steps toward lowering your stroke risk and giving your brain space to rest, repair, and stay strong. You are not here by accident. You are here because you care about your health and your life. And that, in itself, is a form of strength. Let me ask you something meaningful. Which part of today's video surprised you the most? Was it the spinach? The asparagus? The tomatoes? Or was it something you have been feeling in your own body for years but never had the words for? Tell me in the comments. Your insight could help another senior understand themselves in a way they never have before. If this video gave you clarity, subscribe so you never miss another conversation like this. Share it with a friend, a neighbor, or someone you care about. You deserve to age with confidence. You deserve to feel safe in your own body. And I am here to help you do that, one step at a time.